Welcome guys, today Denver Griffin with Divorce Stoppers, and today I'm going to help you mend your relationship by telling you the top 10 strategies that you're currently doing right now that's hurting your relationship, and if you'll stop doing these things, it will help the relationship have a chance of reconciliation. The number one thing on the list is reassuring. If you're reassuring your spouse or your long-term relationship lover that whatever the things are that she's always wanted you to change, or maybe you never knew it and she's brought it to your attention, or maybe you just figured it out that you should stop having an affair, or you're reassuring her that you're never going to have an affair again, or that you'll stop being verbally abusive, or that you're going to stop lying, or one of a million different things. The things that you believe is the problem, which by the way, the problem is never the problem, but you constantly reassuring her that you've changed or that you're going to change is giving a result of exactly what you don't want. Because here's why. Working on the relationship is always what's not working. This is one thing that will never work, and it is a strategy. And you may not even be aware that you've been doing this, but you probably have. So in reassuring her that you're going to change or that you have changed, her subconscious is hearing the exact opposite. She already has something that's called bias against you, and you're further confirming to her there's another reason to be biased. You're amplifying that. So what you're doing in an effort to mend your relationship and to get your lover back, the person that your heart's breaking for. And by the way, if you're there, you're watching this, I'm sorry that you're going through this, because I know what it's like, because I've been in your shoes. I've been in your shoes twice, actually. I was in a marriage that was 2.5 decades, and that marriage was facing divorce, and I tried all these different things, and a lot of it worked. But guess what? When you're fighting for a relationship and you're working so hard on the relationship, and I'm sitting here telling you from experience, working on the relationship is exactly what's not working. I got a lot of wins, but ultimately that marriage ended in a divorce, because for women at this stage of the ball game, it's not about all of the things that you're doing right. And it's not about you telling her that I'm going to start doing these right or that I've changed. It's about the one slip up. It's about the one thing that you do wrong. And man, you can walk on water for 2 weeks, 2 months, and you slip up one time. She triggers you one time. And not only is it back to square one, not only is it back to ground zero, you're further back than when you started, because you have absolutely confirmed the bias that she has against a relationship and against you. Reassuring her that you've changed or that you're going to change will never work. It is a strategy, I'm going to repeat, that will never work. If you feel the need, and your brain is so addicted to reassuring her, and you feel it coming out the mouth, tell yourself, shut up, shut up, shut up. The next thing is constantly repeating to her, I love you so much, I'm so sorry, I'm even like teared up and I'm emotional about it, and I'm texting emojis. This is giving you the opposite result. Stop doing it. And now your brain is hardwired. This is how I feel. And the word even says, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. It doesn't say it's supposed to. Stop saying, I love you. You're telling her that, oh wow, I'm this worthless loser, and I don't see that she's saying she wants a divorce, she wants a separation, and you're sitting here saying, I'm so worthless. I don't see the world is full of millions of beautiful women that would give their eye tooth to be with me. And if you're not feeling like that, I promise you, the world's covered in them. Now, I know that you want this woman back. I'm going to help you get her back if you'll listen to me. But you have to be coachable. There's a time and a place to say I love you. That time and the place does not exist until she starts saying it first. You have got to stop saying I love you, because all it is doing is telling her, I'm selfish and I want what I want regardless of what you want. Every time you say I love you, it'll get to the point that it is literally perturbing her and making her hate you. She'll start rolling her eyes. Stop saying I love you. This strategy is something that will never work. The next thing is sitting around praying and hoping. Well, Denver, I'm a believer. This sounds like blasphemy. You're saying that prayer is not going to help me get my wife back. It's not going to help me get my lover back. I am saying, dang right, it's not going to. Not by itself. I'm okay if you want to pray, and I'm okay if you want to hope. The word actually says to be hopeful in all things. But I am telling you that the word says a lot more stuff to go with that. Have you not read? Faith without works is dead. So how do you work your faith? Well, you could join my program, denvergriffin.com/ free master or /masterclass. You can attend and get the additional help there. Sign up. If you feel like the relationship is about to go down in flames, time is not on your side. You need speed. If you have time, you can watch these YouTube videos and eventually you can probably figure it out from this. But I am telling you, prayer alone is not going to do anything unless you change. And these 10 strategies that I'm covering is specifically because I thought about, my heart was breaking for all the people out there praying. You can even YouTube a prayer to get your spouse back. Guess what? If you don't stop doing these 10 things, the prayer is not going to work. You're canceling your own prayers because you're not even giving the Creator room to work. So you need to follow a step-by-step process that is going to be a new way of thinking. Listen, if you don't have a new way of thinking, you can be walking on water and then she triggers you one time. And listen, as she starts thinking about you because some of the stuff that you're doing is working, she will test you. And guess what? If you don't have a new way of thinking, you're going to be triggered, you're going to blow up, and you're going to confirm her decision to leave the relationship. So prayer enough is not alone, and that's even biblical. The next thing is using your kids. We've all been there, we've all done it. If you have kids, using the kids to get in front of her, using the kids to get a way to talk to her, it is manipulative and it will stress you out, it will stress the kids out, and she will see this as a manipulation tactic. And I understand for some of you that you feel like this is the only way that you can get back in front of her. But using the kids in the form of, don't, listen, here's some facts. I'm going to give you an example. Did you know that if you get a divorce, that your children are 60% higher likelihood of getting a divorce themselves? So that would be an example of using the kids. If you share that information with your wife, that's an example of using the kids. And you can't do that because she will perceive it as manipulation, even though it is true. And I understand it. This strategy will never work. Stop using the kids. The next thing is being doubtful that she'll ever change. You're like, you have no hope, you're stubborn, you'll stop saying never. Have you ever heard the saying, never say never? Stop saying never to yourself. Stop telling me never. Stop telling my coaches never. And stop telling your friends and your family never. This delusion that you're under that, well, when she makes up her mind, you don't know my wife. When she makes up her mind, she doesn't change it. Well, listen here, dummy. She does. She moved in with you. She got in your bed. She got it on with you like Donkey Kong. And now she doesn't want anything to do with you, right? So she does change her mind. Stop telling yourself that she doesn't. Stop being doubtful, okay? The next thing is to blame her and use the moral high ground. I just gave you some statistics that if you get a divorce, that your next relationship only has a 30%. So maybe you're in your first relationship, and let's say if you get a divorce and you go into your second relationship, your second relationship only has a 30% chance of making it if this one doesn't work out. If you are divorced, the likelihood of your next marriage not making it is the numbers go down. It does also for your wife, but it also does for your kids. Suicide rates go up for your kids. Suicide rates go up for you, go up for your spouse. So there's a lot of moral things around divorce and or separation that come into play, but it's all negative. Even if it's true, do not be morally superior to your lover or your wife and blame her for things, even if it is all true, because the reason that you're doing it is because you don't know what else to do. Hey guys, I want to share something with you. If you're still watching the video at this stage, I'm assuming that you're getting at least some benefit from the content. I want to give you something else. I'm offering right now a free masterclass, and at the end of that masterclass, I'm giving you an opportunity to apply to work with me. The website to do that is denvergriffin.com/masterclass. And if you're enjoying some of this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm posting YouTube videos daily right now to give you free content in order to help you save your marriage. And I want you to be notified as those videos become available in real time. The reason that you're doing it is you don't know what else to do and you're desperate. And I get that. That's the reason I started the Divorce Stoppers program. I coach men on things that they can do, things that they can think, so that they always pass the test. Every time she tests, My clients pass the test because it's a new way of being. It's a new way of thinking. This strategy of blaming her and making her feel bad, it all might be true, everything that you're saying, but it's not ever going to attract her back. It's not ever going to make her feel bad enough that she wants to come back to the relationship. It's actually doing the exact opposite. It's reinforcing negative feelings that are now tied to this relationship. He's making me feel bad, therefore I must get away from the relationship faster. This strategy doesn't work. The next thing is recruiting other people to help you get her back. This never goes well. Listen, you have competition out there. One of the competition is when a spouse leaves a relationship, when a wife leaves a relationship or a lover leaves a long-term relationship, she will always latch on to somebody that's pretty much in the same boat, okay? It could be another guy that's going through a divorce. It could be a friend that's going through a divorce or just recently got a divorce, but there's always some sort of competition that you have to tackle. And I teach how to do that in my program. But what I'm telling you right now is not going to work, okay? Recruiting other people to do your bidding for you, reaching out to the in-laws saying, don't she know what she's doing? The suicide rate's going up for our kids. By the way, the stuff I'm giving here statistically, don't use this to do exactly the opposite of what I'm telling you. Recruiting your in-laws, recruiting your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, your parents, her friends, the pastor, to go tell her that she's wrong or that she should come back to the relationship. I understand why you're doing this. It's something else that you've reached out subconsciously. You want this to be healed so bad you can't stand it. You don't know what else to do. I teach you in my program and on this channel some things that you can do. In the program, I teach you everything that you can. This is one thing I'm telling you, you can't do. And if you're doing it now, and you probably are, stop recruiting others to try to help you save the relationship because she's already biased against the relationship, and this is further confirming and further distancing. You're actually pushing her away. The next thing is reasoning. Trying to reason with her and get her to see your point of view. She's never going to do it. What you're doing by reasoning with her, the very act and the nature of reasoning to begin with, is you're trying to convince somebody that their perception or their perspective is wrong. It's not the right way. That what she wants is separation. She wants out of the relationship. Maybe she has a new lover and he has a bigger you know what and more income, and she thinks that she wants that, and you're reassuring her that your smaller package is going to be a better deal for her. Guess what? Maybe it is, but you're the last person to tell her that. You're the last person to reason with her and letting her know the statistics around everything that we talked about. You're the last person to reason with her around the morals. Now, your pastor might be able to reason with her, but if you recruit him to reason with her, it's going to have an opposite effect. So what's next on the list here? Another tactic that is never going to work. This strategy will sometimes get you temporary results and you will see successes in it. And the reason that I know that is because I actually employed it. I tried it a couple of times actually, and it worked both times. But the reason that it doesn't work long term, and that's acting depressed, or maybe even some people will go to the point of acting suicidal. Some people will attempt a suicide and end up in the hospital. And on the short term, this may get you some successes, but it's a strategy that in the long term, it will never work. You acting depressed may in the beginning get her to feel sorry for you, and at least you're like, oh my God, this works. She's coming back to me. She's talking to me. But listen, do people divorce depressed people? Yes, they do. Have you ever met somebody in your whole entire life that's divorced a happy person? Have you ever met a happy man that's just happy? Like he's just happy and his wife divorced him? No, it's never existed. Ever, ever, ever. You might have thought you knew somebody like that, but what you didn't know is he's an alcoholic and he gets angry at night. So no wife has ever divorced a happy husband. You acting depressed, she will eventually see that for what it is. And you might be so good at acting depressed because she's your honey and you're heartbroken. I get it, okay? And you might not even think that this is a manipulation tactic, but it is. But you're so genuinely depressed that you're employing this manipulation tactic to the point that it's so good, you actually believe it yourself. And you actually, the word says, so as a man thinketh, is he. So as you're acting depressed, you will actually become depressed. Nobody wants to have a long-term relationship with somebody that's in full-blown depression. So don't implement this strategy because eventually it's going to backfire. You may see some wins on it, but in the long run, she will see this for what it is, even if you don't mean it to be this way. Even if it's not a manipulation technique, she will ultimately see this as a manipulation strategy, and it will further confirm in her mind you are not the man that she wants to be with.
Exaggeration. There's two different ways that we exaggerate. The first way that we exaggerate is we exaggerate the good. So all the past things in the marriage, the relationship. For example, maybe you guys went to Disney World and you had this amazing time in your mind and you start exaggerating. Don't you miss these memories? Or maybe you're putting together, your phone pops up some pictures and some memories and you want to share a slideshow with her. And you want to go and send this to her and say, look at all these great memories that we have. And in your mind, those memories might have been great. And 6 months ago, they might have been great and that might have appealed to her as well. But this can just as easily backfire on you because you're exaggerating the good memories because she's going to perceive this. She's already biased against you. She has confirmation bias. And a lot of times what can happen when you share these type of memories or you exaggerate the good times, she can remember something about the good times. This one thing that might have been 10 years ago or 5 months ago, she might have had a bad experience, even though it was just a brief encounter. Maybe you had a 7-day vacation and you're sharing the good memories. And in her mind, she's going to see that as exaggeration because she might remember one bad thing that happened on that trip. And by you reminding her of the good memories, it's going to cause her to be reminded of something bad that took place that you may not even know that have happened, but she will. Another way that we can exaggerate is we can exaggerate, oh my gosh, the long-term effects of the divorce. The suicide rate's going to go up for us and for our children. The likelihood, you can exaggerate things that are truthfully worthy of exaggeration, but it's not going to accomplish the goal that you're wanting to accomplish. Sharing with her the exaggerated events of what's taking place now or what you see as the adverse events or the reactions from the decisions that she's making today are going to backfire on you even if they're honest and they're truthful. So what you're saying could be honest, it could be heartfelt, and it could be with good intentions, but it's also going to be perceived as something that's selfish and it's going to have the opposite effect. Instead of it actually attracting your spouse back, instead of it accomplishing the goals of having your relationship restored, this is one of the strategies that will always have the opposite effect of what you're wanting.
So friends, I tell you, these are 10 strategies that have never and will never and currently are not going to work. If you're doing any or all of these 10 things, stop doing them today. So what can you do? Go to denvergriffin.com/masterclass and I'll give you some tips on some things that you can do. And in addition to that, at the end of that free masterclass, I'm going to give you an opportunity at a discounted rate for now to work with me, and you can fill out an application at the end of that masterclass. I hope this content was useful to you. I love you, men. I'm here for you, and we're here for a team. 100% of the time. And just remember, if it is to be, it's up to me. Just not with these 10 strategies because they don't work.